Welcome to the Maryland Mortgage Rates Weekly Mortgage Market Update for the week of August 19, 2013. Hello, I'm John Thomas with Primary Residential Mortgage, here to give you your update. Well, last week was not good news for mortgage rates. Mortgage bonds sold off in a slew of positive economic news. If you look at the bond chart on the screen, you can see mortgage bonds sold off almost every day last week. So mortgage rates spiked higher and even surged higher on Friday. We are actually going to recommend floating your Maryland mortgage rate to start the week because the bond seemed to find a bottom and recover slightly from the huge sell-off. So we're hoping we can bounce higher and see interest rates recover some. So we're going to recommend floating. But if the sell-off continues on Monday or Tuesday, we would quickly switch to a locking stance because mortgage bonds have a long way to fall if they break below this level. So floating the week to start, but be on guard because you may need to switch to a locking stance. Now let's dig into those positive economic reports that came out last week. The big one was on Thursday. Weekly initial jobless claims dropped by 15,000 down to 320,000 claims. That was below the 339,000 expected. That was great news for the labor market. That is the lowest number of claims since October 2007. Now, the reason why this is such bad news for the bond market is if we get too much good economic news and the labor market shows a recovery, the Federal Reserves are meeting in September and they're deciding whether they're going to start that bond buying program, start tapering it down in September or wait till next year. If they get too much good economic news, they're going to start tapering in September. They're buying 85 billion of bonds every month now. If they start lowering that number, you're going to see the bond market react negatively, and we could see it sell off even more and rates move higher. So you got to be on guard for this good economic news. The other thing we saw was the release of retail sales report for July 2013, which showed a fourth straight month of retail sales growth of 0.2%. If you strip out auto sales from the report, then it rose by 0.5%. Again, another good economic report. We need retail sales to improve the labor market and to improve GDP. So if we're having good retail sales, that's leading to more good economic news. That is not mortgage bond friendly. We also saw a release of reports on inflation. Now, the Feds watch inflation closely. If their target number is 2%, if inflation goes above 2%, that may force them to start tapering the bond buying program and their asset purchase program. Well, the good news is inflation was only 0.2% for July 2013 on the Consumer Price Index, or the CPI. Year over year, we're at 2%. Now, the ones the Fed follow is the core CPI, which rose 0.2% for July, and year over year is at 1.7%. That's a great number on inflation, shows it's very low. So that is bond-friendly news. Now, in the housing market, housing news. Good news still in housing. Housing starts rose 5.9% from June to July 2013 to 896,000 units annualized. Building permits were also up 2.7% for July to 943,000 units annualized. And that's good news because the building permits actually dropped 6.7% in June. Now, the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index rose to 59 in August, up from 57 in July. And that was the best level in nearly 8 years. So we have a good, strong housing recovery. Even with mortgage rates moving up, the housing market is still improving. So what does that mean for you? That means get under contract now, because if you wait, home prices are going up, interest rates are going up. They're predicting home prices to increase in 2013 anywhere from 10 to 13%. They were up about 12% in 2012. So get under contract now, get your rate locked in. The longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be. Now, in the local news, the next free first-time homebuyer seminar in Towson, Maryland is Saturday, September 14th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Sheraton Baltimore North Hotel in Towson, Maryland, right off 695 on Delaney Road. Now, you can register for that event by giving us a call in the office at 410-412-3319 or register online, www.marylandhomebuyersseminars.com. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.